Hey, welcome back, everybody. Sarcasm Speaks, Jared and Bob are here. Um, I was going to try and use this as a final thought, but it's going to be my opening thought. So this is coming out tomorrow, so this is going to still be, you know, semi-relevant. Um, the fucking snow today and the freezing rain and the ice and the whatever it was, absolutely miserable. Can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, I mean, I think I'm good. I think I'm good with snow for the rest of the year.
Good, because this week we're getting like actual snow.
Good. Good. Even better. Because my snowblower is broken.
I didn't even bother trying today. I go, that
Uh
shit's too heavy, too wet. It's not gonna do anything.
yeah, well, I mean, with my driveway, there's no way I'm gonna shovel that thing. So it was a pain in the ass, because it was heavy as fuck. The top sheet was just ice, and it was just the underneath was just water, right? Like it was the absolute worst case scenario to have to try and clear snow. Um, I don't think we've had one of those type of storms in a long time. Um,
I don't remember, like, top of my head, I don't remember clearing something that bad.
yeah, yeah, it was pretty bad. Because when it started last night, when it was coming down last night, it was like fluffy, light, airy snow, right? And then at some point during the night, it changed over to rain, right? And then in the morning, it was like freezing rain, sleet, whatever. So it meant that there, like I said, there was water on the ground, right? Then there was the snow as the middle layer, and then it was just ice as the top layer. Um, it took me almost 3 hours with a snowblower to clear my driveway because, well, I did, I mean, like the long straight part, I used the snowblower. Like halfway through, um, the 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 chute stopped turning. So I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking sick. Um, so the chute got stuck to the left. So then instead of being able to go like up and down, it like, serpentining, I had to go one way all the way down, turn around, push it all the way back to the other end of the driveway, one way all the way down, because I don't want to shoot snow over the part of the driveway that I just cleared, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like why would I continue serpentining when the thing only shoots in one direction? So it took me even longer to do the straight part of the driveway. And then the loop that we have, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna shovel it. So I ran one pass with the snowblower just to give me like a path through. Um, but even still, like with it stuck on the left, like I could only go to the left side of our cars. Because if I go on the right side, I'm gonna blast snow right off the side of our cars. So yeah, it was not great, right? And it's one of the things that I talked about when I got the snowblower, right? And I got a deal on it, whatever it was, I forget how much I paid for it, but I ended up getting money off because it was the floor model, right? And they whatever I don't even know what it was. If it was $1,000, I only paid 800, or if it was 800, I only paid 600, whatever it was. I don't know. Um, And I remember saying, yeah, it's got like a cool like bells and whistles and like it's cool. The reason why I bought it is because it has a 36-inch front, right? Like it's huge because again, I have a huge fucking driveway and we have a loop that goes through it too. So I got a lot of area to cover. Um, So in a case like today, because the auger kept getting stuck in the slush, because that's what it was. It wasn't snow or it was just slush. I could cover about 6 inches each pass. right? Because if I did any more than that, the augers would just bind up and get stuck and they would lock. So I could only cover about 6 inches at a time. And again, like I said, the chute got stuck to the left because the chute is an automatic or it's an electrical powered chute, right? So there's a little joystick on the handle that you move the joystick around and it moves the chute and then it goes up, down, left, right, right? It does the whole spinny thing. Well, the joystick still works for the up and down part, which kind of makes me feel like there's just some sort of like mechanical issue going on. Um, Pickett's going nuts right now because the up down still works, right? So up down still works, but left and right does not work. So I don't think it's the complete like electrical wiring. I think it's just something might be jammed or stuck or whatever. So tomorrow I gotta call my buddies over at Seekonk Small Engine. Um, and have them come pick up my snowblower and fix it. So, um, yeah. So snowblower doesn't work.
You might be in trouble.
I gotta check the weather then, because if it's gonna snow again this week, I'll just deal with it.
You
Like I'll deal with it only facing one direction, and
yeah, you're
I'll have them pick it up next week or something.
yeah, because who's the dude? The climate guy that usually does the math to debunk um all the people like he's the one who does the calculations when it's like, oh my God, like Greenland's fucking melting. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And it's like we're losing all these millions of tons of ice. And he's like, yeah,
Yeah,
we are.
wasn't it like Chris something or whatever? I don't
Yeah,
know.
whatever. I follow him. And because that's the other thing is he's a meteorology student. I think he's wrapping up soon. And he said, he goes, there's a legit storm coming to the Northeast. And I think Michaela looked up and saw something like 8 inches Thursday, 8 inches Friday.
Good. That's good. So yeah, maybe I won't be calling Seekonk Small Engine.
Yeah, I mean, just check because that's fucking crazy if that's what we're
Yeah,
actually getting.
yeah.
But this is also why I don't like to check the weather this soon.
True. Anything can happen, right? Anything can change. So,
But and also see, but it's weird because usually it's the other way. It's everyone's like, "Oh my God, I heard we're getting snow next week."
yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, I looked it up. It's like an inch."
yeah, yeah. That's not that
And
bad.
they're like, "All right, well, gotta go to the grocery store. What? Like, here we go." And now it's like we're getting like a legit fucking storm,
Yeah,
and you're not hearing anything.
yeah. Yeah, so like my thing too, back to the snowblower, right? With it being broken, like it's a cool little thing, and I got the money off because it was the floor model and all that shit. But I remember at the time thinking like this joystick controlled shoot is going to cause me problems because it's the more electrical components something has, the more shit can go wrong. That's how I look at it. Like,
Well, that was my final thought. Whatever, Michaela's car.
yeah, yeah, the smarter you are, the dumber
The
it
smarter the
is,
car
right?
is, the fucking because that's the thing is like my thing is manual, so it's like, oh, I don't get a nice little joystick. I gotta stop, go move the thing. But yeah, but then when it's stuck, I just put WD-40 on it.
Right. But like my thing is like an old school snowblower, right? You have the turn handle, like you have the crank. It's a crank handle. I would have been fine with the crank handle, but I was determined to get the 36-inch barrel, right? And the only one that I could find at the time with the 36-inch barrel was this model. And it was, whatever. It was marked down and it is what it is, right? So I'm like, I don't hate it, right? It's a great snowblower. It does exactly what I needed to do, except when you get shit snow like it was today. I mean, it's not the snowblower's fault. It's fucking
Did it turn it all today or no?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It worked. It worked fine
Maybe it's just
for
jammed up.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like I don't know. I might go take a look at it tomorrow. Um, so yeah, it's just it again, it's like technology is nice and it does make things convenient, but like Can you just give me the crank handle? Right? Like that's all I just I'll spin it. Just turn it. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need more wires and electrical things. Because the other thing too I thought of was it was raining. Like one of the wires could have got wet and like short circuited. But then I was like, no, I don't think it is because like I said, the up down still works. So like up down works, but left right doesn't. So I'm like, I don't know what it is. So I'll probably have to just take a look at it tomorrow, especially if we're gonna get more snow later this week. It's not worth sending it off to get fixed.
Oh,
Um,
you won't be getting it back anytime soon.
yeah. So whatever, I'll just deal with it. But it's still it's better than not having a snowblower, right? So
Yeah, well, that was my thing was today. I probably could have like tried to use it. It's just that thing's not very powerful.
yeah,
It's a very small snowblower.
yeah,
And like I was
um,
even looking at it because like so my car's outside, so then I'm like, all right, well I push some snow away from my car, usually then hit it with the snowblower.
right,
I'm just looking at it, I go, dude, this thing's not gonna be able to move this shit.
right, right, yeah. So I mean, I'm good. It can be you can give me a foot of snow for all I care, as long as it's not what we got today, right? As long as it's not slush.
Yeah, man, it's just that was awful. And it was like I don't even know how long I was out there for. Maybe like an hour and a half. We just went and laid on my garage floor.
Yeah,
I'm like, Michaela had just taken Leo out. She goes, "You good?" I go, "I think this storm just fucking broke me."
yeah, for real, dude. Like I said, it took me almost 3 hours with a snowblower.
And she's like,
Well, for at least like 50% of it.
she goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "I just don't see how the snow goes away."
Yeah,
Because that's the problem is whoever plowed our street. Oh, I know everyone has to deal with the plow at the end of their driveway. Whoever did our street did really fucking fucked me on that one.
yeah. Well, you guys are
So
tough because you're right at the corner too. So like guys are
yeah,
pushing it towards the end too. So like whoever's pushing it, it's gonna be right there. And yeah,
it was a bad one. So I was
yeah,
like, God damn, because it's always annoying, but I'm like, man, I did not need that
yeah,
the way it was done today.
yeah. And then there's no rock salt anywhere in the whole state, apparently. Nikos was talking about it. My neighbor was talking about it because at one point when I was out shoveling the loop, obviously, like the loop runs near where the neighbor's driveway is. And I was talking to the kid out there and he was like, "Yeah, this is miserable, huh?" And I go, "Yeah, this sucks." And he's like, "Yeah, we don't have any salt anywhere." And he goes, "I went to 3 different Lowe's and no Lowe's has salt." And it was funny because Nikos in our group chat was like, "Oh, the whole fucking state is out of salt." So you
So
can't get
no,
salt anywhere.
if there's no salt in the state,
I mean, you could get sand, right? You can throw sand down, but like it's not going to melt the snow. It's just going to give you traction so you don't slip and fall.
I'm gonna buy a pallet of ice melt.
Or just go to Walmart and buy or BJ's or Costco and get an industrial salt. Like iodized salt, right? Like Morton's, the little girl with the fucking umbrella on it in the rain. Like you just get one of those salt things and dump that all over the place.
I don't even know. I was gonna say like still today fucking broke me, and obviously I was fucking hungover as all hell, same as last week.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing is like the last 2 weeks we've walked to Johnny Kono's because it's been snowing at
Right.
night,
Right.
so we don't want to go anywhere, and then we can just walk back. But
Did
I
you take a
bet
tumble?
I fell both times now. So last week was dumb because when we walked over, it hadn't started. So we had seen like the path to doesn't get touched, so it's like it's a shit show. So we saw it and we were like, okay, well, we need to fucking be careful about that.
Yeah.
And then we left. We're walking down the path. We're just saying like, "Hey, we need to be careful." And then both of us fucking fell last week. And then this time got through that part no problem. I was walking in the middle of the road and so I assume a car had probably driven by, made it ice, snow fell, so I didn't see anything.
Yeah,
And then I was just fucking on my ass.
yeah, yeah, it'll get you.
So wasn't walking like a penguin enough.
Yeah, you got to do the waddle. You got to keep your center of gravity low and in between your feet.
Well, that's the other thing because I actually it's a weird thing. I actually slip and slide more when I wear boots. Like my Tim's work boots, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like I feel like I have like less control in them.
yeah.
I don't know. But like I always am like sliding, slipping. Can't really
Hmm.
and they're hard to walk in for
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
And so that's the thing is I just like wear like regular sneakers because we do have to walk.
right.
Like, I don't know if the boots would even help.
Yeah, I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I think it might have to do too with whatever material the sole is made out of, like whatever kind of rubber it is.
And I mean, dude, they're just like Tim Pros.
Yeah, because I have Sorels and I don't slip at all in those fucking things. Like I walk right on the ice and I'm not slipping, sliding. Like those things grip great. But any other pair of shoes that I wear, I'm all over the fucking ice.
Yeah. That's the other thing though. I wear them so infrequently that I'm like I just
Yeah.
don't even think about it. But yeah, it's whatever year that was where I fell like a million times. Every single time I was wearing boots.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Gotta walk on the snow.
Oh, so that's the thing. I also kind of like just expect it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, fucking cunty Chris. He goes, anyone go down? I go, yep. He goes, how does that keep happening? I go, we're walking in the fucking snow, dude. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
We're not walking down like because the thing, the sidewalks aren't clear, so there it's all ice under snow.
Right.
So that's why I'm walking in the middle of the road because it's actually the most, or it's the best chance of not finding ice is the middle of the street.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's really is the worst case scenario, right? Like it's like with the snow last night, switched to rain. It was warm enough today to rain all day, and by warm enough, I mean like it was 40 degrees. Um, so it rained all day. So now everything is just soaked and drenched everywhere because before it even started snowing, there was still snow on the ground, but it was all ice, right? So like my whole backyard is just ice. And then it was snow, and then it was ice on top. So now my backyard is like a fucking disaster. The ground has been frozen, right? So I went down, which shout out to old evolution. Well, not old evolution, but the latest old evolution for the
Last
individual
spot or the
mats.
old spot?
Yeah. Foundry.
Yeah,
Um,
the last spot.
yeah. So for those mats, because now I had to go downstairs and roll the mats up because like this is prime 101 of getting water in the basement because the ground is frozen, right? The ground's been frozen. Then you get snow and then rain, which melts the snow, but then it turns to ice. And then eventually it's going to melt more, right? And it's like there's nowhere for the water to go in the ground because the top layer of the ground is frozen. And then on top of the ground is ice. So literally the water is just going to fucking puddle everywhere and it's just going to get worse, right? It's a positive feedback loop. And everyone knows those always end in catastrophe. So thanks to my grad school endocrinology professor who taught me that every positive feedback loop always ends in catastrophe. Um, but And now, like I said, I'm probably going to get water in the basement, right? And then, so tonight, it's probably also going to get cold. And then all of the water that's everywhere in my driveway because it has nowhere to go, right? Because it can't get absorbed in the ground. All of that water is going to freeze. So basically, anything that's not ground or snow is going to be ice tomorrow.
I was gonna say, so tomorrow the high is gonna be 30.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 15 overnight, and it's only gonna get to 25 on Tuesday.
Yeah. So get ready to, you might as well just break out your ice skates. You should have skated to Johnny Kono's.
True.
Would have been safer.
Although I'm not seeing this massive snowfall, but I don't know. We've talked about that. For some reason, whenever I check the weather, because I was checking temperatures. I
Yeah.
don't know. Whatever happens when I check the weather, it's like I don't do it right. So
Yeah, I'm seeing Thursday only a 52% chance of snow, and I see one
saw
to
one to
th
I
one to
just
three
saw 1 to
inches.
3.
Yeah, that's what I got
So I don't
too.
know. Maybe, but again, if that dude was seeing that storm like
Yeah,
ahead, something could have happened where it's gonna be south of us or whatever.
yeah. I gotta go to Southern California next week, so I mean it can be cold all it wants as long as it doesn't fucking snow. I'm going Monday to Wednesday next week. I'll
And
send I'll send pictures.
well,
I'll
just
go
remember,
sit at Torrey Pines.
you just need to have some perspective and remember how terrible it actually is gonna be out there.
Yeah, to be 75 every day.
Yeah, it's awful. It's way better to have this.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Let's check the weather in San Diego right now. Whoa, what's going on in San Diego? Holy shit. Today was 74 and clouds. Tomorrow is 64 and clouds. And then for the next 2 weeks, it's 63, 66, 65, 68, 69, 71, 70, 69, 69, 68.
Well, dude,
And then 3 more days of 68 in a row.
it's like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Sun every day, partly cloudy a couple days. But today was fully clouds and 74.
Well,
Imagine that in the middle
I can't.
of February into
Yeah,
March, it's 68 every
yeah,
single
that
day.
sucks. That sucks.
That's so miserable.
They don't know what they're missing.
Oh, and by the way, the low,
And how
the
do you
low
like live
every
like
day
how do you live like that?
doesn't go below 52. So the coldest it's going to get is 52 degrees. The warmest it's going to get here over the next 2 weeks is probably like 42.
Yep. I don't even know if they know how bad they have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Not being able to experience what we experienced today, they're really missing out.
They are.
Yeah.
We have seasons.
Yeah. It's really too bad that they can't experience snow and freezing rain and slush. Imagine not having to buy a snowblower.
Can't can't imagine it.
It got to the point where it was so bad when I came in, like you too, for different reasons, and not because I was hungover, because I was just like physically exhausted. I was sitting there and Amy was making lunch, and I was like, I kind of want to just buy an ATV and just put a plow on it.
Said that today. Going to buy a her father used to have a Ranger, a Polaris Ranger in Vermont.
Yeah,
And I was like, we should just get one and I'll put a fucking plow on the front.
that's literally I literally said that today, and I was like, you know what is not gonna break in the snow and the rain is a
Saw blade.
floor wheeler with a plow on it because there's no little joystick that turns the chute left and right that's gonna not work. And then I was like, well, wait a sec, because I actually looked them up. You could get like you can get a small four wheeler, like a kid's four wheeler, for like $2,700, and then an ATV plow is only like $400. And I was like, well, wait a second. can I just get like a small lightweight plow for my truck and just hook it up to my fucking Toyota Tacoma? Like, what do I need to buy an ATV? And then I found they make lightweight plows for specifically for residential use. Like they say all over them, like, do not use this to plow anything other than a driveway. Um, for like 1,800 bucks.
Might be the move.
So I might be investing in a plow for my truck.
That might be the move.
Yeah, just plow my driveway. Like take it would take literally 5 minutes. I mean, it would take longer than that because I'd have to hook the
Get heat
plow
it up.
into my truck, right? And do the whole thing. But like my truck has four-wheel drive. Amy's Jeep has four-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure Mary's car has the option to put it into four-wheel drive. So like just pull all the cars to the end of the driveway. I'll plow through the loop, go all the way down the back, pull your cars back, spin it around, do zip zap, done.
It's that easy.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know the whole process of tying it in, but
I think
uh
it's a pain in the ass. That's why like most of those guys they only do it once, like
yeah.
once a season.
Yeah.
If it's a residential one, maybe it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, if it's smaller and lightweight, like I would imagine, because they said it's made specifically for that. And one of the things that I read about, like in the reviews of one of that particular plow, is that it's made so that you don't need to have any like reinforced front suspension. Because if you are going to put like an industrial plow on the front of a truck, you need to reinforce the front suspension, which makes a ton of sense. Obviously, like if you're going to have a 700 pound fucking piece of metal hanging off the front of your truck, you probably, reinforce that suspension. Um, but I don't know how much this one in particular weighed, but it is considered lightweight. So if it's only like 300 pounds, like that's nothing. Like that's two full-sized men sitting in the front seat of the car. Right? Like if you have that's less than that, right? Like if you have two guys that weigh 200 pounds each, that's 400 pounds of passenger weight that's gonna, you know what I mean, on the front suspension. So as long as the plow is like 500 pounds or less, I can't imagine um it's gonna like, completely shred my fucking suspension. So yeah, 1,800 bucks. Says I got it right here. Ideal for personal use, such as clearing driveways in small areas. Is not suitable for heavy duty or commercial snow removal tasks. Made by AgriCover. No free ads, but
Certainly something to consider for next year.
yeah, I think so. Oh, you can put it on the back too. It's an electric, it's an electric winch plow. I don't know. I don't understand how any of this works. I got to read more about it, but oh, the electric winch is a different product. Okay, it's all on the same thing. I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, so might be something to consider, like you said, for next snow season. 84 and 96 inches of the sides that it's available. So probably gonna buy one.
Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty great. Well, the best part is I'll buy it and then we won't get any snow next year. But it'll cover us for a year because that's what happened the year I bought this snowblower, whenever
Yeah,
it
we
was.
really didn't get
Maybe,
snow for what, like 2 years almost?
yeah, when did I buy this thing? 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that? When did we buy it? We bought the house in 2021. Like, yeah, that's when we sold Mansfield, was 21. So I probably bought the snowblower
Late
the
21.
fall of 2021, right before that winter. So 21, 22, 3, 24. Nope, that's not good math. 21, 22 is 1 year, 22, 23, 23, 24. This is the 24, 25. So this is the fourth year that I've had the snowblower. Yeah. So I don't know, what is that? A half hour on why snow sucks, but how awesome it is to have seasons.
Yeah, you don't know how bad it would be, dude.
Yeah.
I would love to follow up with that dude from the airport that's like, oh, it might be weird, but like, I kind of like the seasons. Yeah? Did you like this today? Hope you had fun.
Did you hear that? Can you hear
No,
that in my microphone?
no.
It's
What am I
still
hearing?
going. There was just a huge fucking lightning strike. It's still rumbling right now. That's like a solid like 15 to 20 seconds of lightning rumble. I don't know
I
if you
didn't hear
could
any of it.
see, I know I have the background on,
No.
but like the light was so bright, it completely lit up the living room.
Open. No, nothing up here.
Yeah, I was like, what in the fuck was that? I literally just turned around and I looked at Amy and I was like, what is going on? I thought she turned the overhead lights on in the living room. That was wild. So, yeah, snow thunder. That was crazy. Anyway, what I was gonna get to was um not last night, right? No, it was Friday night. Um Friday night we went to Boston. Um
I love getting to Boston.
oh yeah, to go see Tom Segura. He was at the Garden. So we got a hotel. We actually got a hotel literally right across the street from the Garden. So it was absolutely fantastic. I parked at the government center garage, and we walked over to the
Didn't
hotel.
collapse this time.
Yeah, it didn't collapse this time. I said that to Amy. I go, oh, wow, look, this is like a whole new garage. Like, I don't even remember it looking like this anymore. And I go, yeah, I mean, I guess they had to rebuild it. She was like, wait, this is the one that collapsed? And I was like, yeah, this is the garage that collapsed during Bill's wedding. Like, literally in the middle of Bill's wedding. This is the garage. And she was like, "Oh, that's great." And I was like, "Well, I mean, what are the odds it's going to collapse twice, right?" So I was like, "We're probably fine." I was like, "I think they probably fixed the issue, um, especially considering that it did collapse and it kind of made the news and it was like a whole thing." I feel
And
like,
someone died.
yeah, that's not really
That's
something
probably
that
a nice,
like,
nice lawsuit.
yeah, they probably did a really good job. That might be the most secure garage in the entire country now. Um, So yeah, we parked at Government Center Garage, which I did. I did my research, which was cheaper, right? It was cheaper to park at the garage and walk over, because it was $65 to use the valet at the hotel, and then obviously you got to tip the guy, and it was $50 to park overnight at the Government Center Garage. So parked there, walked over to the hotel, dropped off our stuff, and then we walked over to the North End to grab dinner. So, I mean, we knew it probably wasn't going to be the smoothest thing in the world because it was Valentine's Day and we were just trying to walk into the restaurant in the North End. Um, but we went to Lucia, which I like. It's
There's one
There's
in
one in
Winchester.
Winchester.
My
Yeah,
my
they
mother
opened
my
up.
mother likes that one.
Yeah, they opened up the second location in Winchester. But I've always liked it there because it's pretty far down Hanover. Like it's I might be one of the last restaurants on Hanover, like towards the back. So it was always kind of out of the way of like the chaos and the crazy. I've been there a bunch of times. Yeah, I mean, I've been a million places in the North End, but I like Lucia a lot. Um, so we went there. We walked right in. We were like, hey, two. And they were like, oh, yeah, you can go sit at the bar in the basement. So I was like, all right, cool. So we went right downstairs, sat at the bar. It was fucking dead down there. Now, by the time we left, it was packed. Um, but the bar was completely empty. Like, there was only like three or four tables that were seated, whatever. So we got right in. Shout out to Lucia. The food, absolutely fucking incredible. But two things while we were sitting there. One, um, there was, I don't know, they were a younger couple, probably in their like early to mid 20s. This girl sits down and the waiter comes over. Now, let me remind you in case you forgot. We're at Lucia in the north end of Boston, which is if you're unaware, if you're a listener that's not from around here, it's very Italian. It is the most Italian place in Boston that you can be. So waiter comes over, starts to take the young couple's order, and turns to the young lady right there, and she goes, "Yeah, do you have like vodka sauce?" And I was like, "Holy fucking shit, dude! What, what are we doing? What is this? Like, what is this?" And the waiter was like, "Oh yeah, of course we do." She was like, "Okay, so like." Can I get the vodka sauce on like, and then I stopped listening. So it was like on some sort of pasta dish or whatever. But like, did you really just walk into an Italian restaurant and ask them if they had vodka sauce? Why? Because you saw it on TikTok, right? Like, because I know that's the big thing. Like for the last 6, 7, 8 months or whatever, vodka sauce has been like the thing. It's been all over like TikTok and Instagram and shit like that. People are like, look at this vodka sauce. Dude, it's marinara sauce with cream. That's all it is.
Vodka.
And vodka, yeah, and vodka. But how many places actually use the vodka when they make it? It's effectively cream. It's a creamy marinara
Do they
sauce.
not actually use it?
I mean, if you go to an authentic Italian place, yeah, I would imagine they probably have vodka in it. But um, like if you're going to a fucking, I don't know, random ass place that's not in the North End, like I wouldn't be.
Why would they make vodka sauce without vodka? Isn't that a very key component? Am I missing something here?
Yeah, I'm just
I don't get it because it's got cream. I generally don't get creamy pastas.
right.
I also do
Same.
not like the taste of vodka, so I would not want that. Well, I guess apparently I might not be getting it either, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, I thought that was kind of like key characteristic of it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have no
I
idea.
don't
I,
either.
I never caught on to the sauce craze. So yeah, yeah, dumb white girl asked for vodka sauce. Just no, it's just
So
like, do you have it?
the only thing I don't understand is he was almost it sounds, and yes, we are being judgmental, and that's fine. It sounds as though she's never ordered in a restaurant before,
Yeah, yeah.
because generally speaking, when you sit down, they give you this thing
This
called a
thing called a
menu,
menu. Yeah,
and it usually tells you what they have on there.
yeah.
So if you were able to read the menu, you would probably see, penne alla vodka,
Yep. Yeah,
most likely.
most likely. Yeah.
But hey, what do I
So
know?
then at another table, if we're gonna continue my judgmentalness here,
It must be
um,
hard to be perfect all the time, right?
it is
I
really.
feel like it's a burden.
It is. It is
Yeah,
honestly, truly. It is a burden, but it's one I'm willing to bear.
someone
So,
has to.
yeah, I mean, seriously, someone has to, right? Um, there was another couple. They were same side of the boothers, but there was no booth, right? So they're sitting on the same side of the table with chairs, which
You.
is just annoying, right? Yeah, ew. That's a perfect way to describe it. Um, And the guy, I mean, I don't want to rag on him too much for what he was wearing because, like, whatever, I'm not a fashion guy. But when he got up to leave, he had this like big, long, like a coat that like my grandfather used to wear, like an overcoat, if you will, right? Like a coat you wear over a coat, except he wasn't wearing a coat for the overcoat. He only had the overcoat. And then under it, he had like these like gray plaid pants with no belt and a white shirt tucked into his pants or a black. It was either white or black. I don't really remember. Doesn't really matter. But it was a t-shirt that was tucked into gray plaid, almost like the Burberry print, but it was gray plaid pants with no belt. So like again, listen, man, like I'm
Oh,
not a fashion guy, but I'm pretty sure if you're gonna tuck your fucking shirt into your pants, you're supposed to wear a belt.
well,
And if you're gonna tuck a t-shirt into dress pants, like I don't know. Again, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that I don't know. Um, it just seemed very odd the way this guy was put together. He was young too. It's probably like again 25. He was in his 20s, right? There was not a chance they were anywhere close to our age. So again, now that I'm done shitting on him for his attire, at one point I think he was like a fake food critic. Because again, you're not going to be 24 years old and a food critic. I don't give a shit, right? Like take myself at 24, I, as much as I like food and I like to cook and do whatever, you're not a food critic. You like what kind of fucking food critic can you be at 24 years old? Like you've been eating good food for what, 5 years? You know what I mean? Like maybe like you can afford, since when can you afford good food at 24 years old? So fuck off. But like the waiter came over and was like, "Oh, how was everything?" And the guy, I couldn't really see what they were talking about, but the guy was like, "Oh yeah, like this was pretty good, but this was very rich. You know, it's not really something that like I would probably get again. But it was just very heavy in my mouth." And it just felt really rich. And but this was delicious. This was great. I would get, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
dude,
Like,
that's
what
what
is
he said. So it's like when they come out, it's like, oh, how is everything? I don't think they actually care.
no, no, no. I don't think the waiter gives a shit. I think the waiter is just trying to make sure he gets a good tip by asking you how everything is. Like, I don't think it's oh, how is it? He's not actually asking you for your opinion. That's good. It's good. It's great. Yep.
Yeah.
Delicious. Thank you.
Do you have a problem? No, then don't fucking tell me anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But the way the kid was like talking about like, oh, heavy in my mouth and this was rich, but oh, but this was decadent. This one was delicious. It was great. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. First of all, you're sitting on the same side of the table as the girl that you're with. You're dressed like an absolute fucking asshat. And the waiter just asked you how it was. He didn't ask like how it felt in your mouth. Like, holy shit. I was like, fuck this guy. So yeah, that's why you can't take me anywhere. Because and this was what we were talking about before when you said that your autistic superpower is that you're completely oblivious to everything that's going on. I'm the complete opposite. My autistic superpower is that I can hear literally fucking everything. And I know everything that like I can just hear conversations going on all the time. I don't know if I'm borderline schizophrenic or what, but well, no, because they're actually real conversations. They're not fake conversations. But like I can,
Or so you believe.
yeah. So I believe that's true. I don't know if there really was a guy sitting there
Amy's like, I
dressed
don't know
in.
what you were talking about. That dude did not exist.
Yeah, yeah. Amy's like, "What do you mean? The bar was completely empty. There wasn't anybody sitting down there."
We didn't go downstairs.
Yeah,
That
we
didn't
never even
happen.
went downstairs. But yeah, like I can be like we were because we were talking, like Amy and I were talking, we were eating, we were hanging out, we were having a good time, and like I can still hear like other people talking. I don't know. I'm retarded. Again, I don't get it. But that's part of the reason why I don't like crowds and I don't like going out to places because I could hear everything that's going on.
What do you think? You're fucking Daredevil or
And it
something?
fucking
Like,
stresses me out. Um
I figure it the fuck out, will you?
So, but I mean, regardless of any of that, Lucia was fucking knocked it out of the park. The food was great. And I actually want to give it to them. Amy brought up a really good point too, because she was like slightly nervous about it. The portions were perfect. Because like sometimes you go to an Italian restaurant
Oh
and they
God,
bring
that's
out
my
a
biggest.
plate that's like four times the size of your head. Like this was perfect. Like it was perfectly portioned. It was a normal size plate with the right amount of food. Like we both ate. I finished everything and Amy ate most of hers, and we were both like content. We were like, I am very good with how I feel right now. I'm not hungry still, and I am not like gonna be sick because I ate so much.
That is for sure a newer take for me. I just straight up I cannot eat the way I used to.
Yeah,
Um,
same.
no, I just cannot do it. Um, and I also know like if someone tells me it's like, oh yeah, big portions, like reasonably priced, it's like that restaurant sucks.
Yeah.
Like I hate it's like, oh yeah, yeah, big portions, reasonable. No, I don't care.
Yeah.
Much rather it be almost fucking expensive and fucking small.
Yeah.
Because then it
Yeah.
should be fucking good.
So thumbs up to Lucia, and then we went to Tresca afterwards, and we sat at the bar there and got espresso martinis. Those were great. So shout out to Tresca as well. You guys have been there before, right? Didn't you?
Tesco? I doubt
Yeah.
it.
No.
Top of my head, because I did not spend a lot of time going to Boston.
Yeah.
Or like I guess getting dinner in Boston. Because like when I was younger, we would go in and just like do shit. But
Right.
um
Well, it's funny because we were
and we would
walking
go to we would
around.
we would go to Umberto's. So it's like that's like where I would go and eat.
Right.
But and
So
again, we were
as
kicking it around during the day.
after we left Tresca, because it was hard to get into places, right? Even just to sit at the bar again, because it's Valentine's Day and Friday night. But the doors opened at 7. The show didn't start until 8. We probably left Lucia maybe at like quarter of 6 because I think we got to Tresca by 6, and we sat at the bar, but they had the bar reserved. Like someone was coming in to eat dinner for reservations at 7, so we had to be out of there by 7. So we probably left Tresca at like 6:30, 6:45. Like we only got martinis. So we were like walking around, see if we could find somewhere else to go. And I go, oh, where's the living room? I wonder if that's still here. No, it's not still there. In case you were wondering, the living room is closed. It's very much closed. I didn't walk over to see if it was something else.
I have no clue what that even is.
We used to go to the living room all the time. It reminded me too when you said like when we used to go in to like go places or whatever. Um, Like we used to go to the living room quite a bit.
No, so
Um,
what I mean is so every time I went to the North End, it was either a college party or I was probably going to Umberto's.
mhm,
Um because like when I was a kid, I would go in and like wander around, go to the common, what like kind of like just wander. That was no problem. So I really only like sat down for real dinner in the North End. Because I mean like there's the feast and shit, but
right.
actually sat down for dinner was like Luca, which I was not impressed by. We went to Panino, Trattoria Panino or some shit. And then Mother Anna's, right on, like literally right on the corner, I think.
Okay.
I don't even know what these places. I don't even know, but like those are kind of like the places I've been to. Um, yeah, I don't know them super well.
Yeah. I like Pagliuca's. It's right on the corner of like if you go down Hanover and take your first left, it's right on the corner right there. I stumbled into that restaurant one day. I think when I was there for the marathon one year, like after the marathon was over, I headed over to the North End. Um, and I was like looking for somewhere, and like Hanover Street was packed. And I just like took that first left down the street, and like Pagliuca's was just sitting right there. And there was no one there. So I just went in and ate and was like, it literally blew my socks clean off my feet. Um, that's a good spot. Like I said, I've been all over there. I've just, wandered and found different, spots there. But I've never been to Luca though, so um,
I was very unimpressed.
never been to Strega either, like the original Strega that's right there.
Nope, I haven't.
Um, but yeah, uh, yeah. I mean, Tom Segura was great though. He was funny. Um, his openers, not great. Actually, that's going to be one of my final thoughts. So I don't know if you want to start wrapping this up or you got anything else.
No, we can wrap it up.
All right.
Um, my current conundrum is I do want a pizza oven here. I don't know what, where, when, or how.
Got to build an outdoor one.
I could, or I could buy one. I have options here. But my problem is, well, one, we have seasons, which sorry, we should be more grateful. So I mean, if I have an outdoor one, I can't use it like bunch of the year.
Yeah, that's fair. But if it's a brick oven, like an outdoor brick oven, you could still use it.
So I'm gonna bundle up in all these clothes and boots and shit, and I'm gonna build a fire out in this weather.
Yeah, you crank that bitch up to like 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that. So I'm gonna do all that.
You can stand next to it in a short and t-shirts.
And then what happens when I have to get back inside?
Just run. Just move very quickly.
So actually, it's the same thing that I was talking about with I was talking about someone. Oh, Cunty Chris got a steam sauna for his house, like a portable one,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Fuck." Like I go, I should ask Bill like if he's around to go in the sauna, and he wouldn't even. I know he wouldn't care, but I was like, I go, so what? I'm gonna go over there, go in the sauna for however long, sweat my ass off, and then put a bunch of clothes back on and boots and shit to walk back. I'm like, it's right there, and it's like so inconvenient
Yeah, yeah,
because like I can't just like leave and like walk back in like shorts.
right. I mean, you could, but it's cold.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Never mind, it just snows and rains all the time. But anyway, yeah, so like that's my thing with like the pizza oven because this is the other interesting thing, right? Because it's like, oh, you get that thing cranking, da da da, whatever. Okay, sure. Yes, that's how the Neapolitans do it, and I've been to Italy once. Um, Not Napoli though. And the pizza cooks in like 90 seconds.
yeah, yeah.
So I have to go out there, I have to build this fire, this rip roaring 900-degree fire. I got to clear out the path, the patio. I got to bundle up and close for 90 seconds of cooking. Maybe 180 seconds because I might just make two, one for me, one for her.
Yeah.
And then what? I gotta wait for the fire to die out. It's a 900-degree. Do you know how long that's gonna take to fucking die out?
Just sit on it.
Would love to just like cover myself in kerosene and just fucking jump on it, but
Is there a way? Now, this is not something that is you would actually do or want to do, or nor would it be advised. Um, but do you guys use the fireplace? Is it an active fireplace or has it been closed off?
we do not use it. I believe it could be used.
So this is going to be some like serious cash, right? But on the backside, because of where the
Well, when it's
fireplace
not
is
yours, it's easy to
located,
spend, right?
well, yeah, true. It's not my money. On the backside of your fireplace, because it's inside the garage,
It
if
is.
you could build a brick oven inside the garage and vent it through the fireplace, right? Because it's right there. Then you have an indoor brick oven fire thing, pit place. Again, not cheap, not
How hard
easy.
would that actually be?
I think it would depend on the construction of it. Like, I think it would depend on whether you actually built it into the fireplace or you just like punched a hole through it to use the fireplace as a vent.
Would
And it
you
was
probably
almost
use it
like a
as a
standalone.
vent? Because I don't want it to be a two-way situation.
Yeah.
Might not actually be that. Because I'm thinking like a pizza oven costs what a pizza oven costs.
Yeah. I mean, do you know a mason?
It's funny. I was because I was talking about this at work because one of the kids keeps bringing it up to me, and he's got like the uni thing, and this kid likes to cook whatever. And the uni one is obviously the easy answer because it's portable, it's
Right.
small, you can do wood fired, you can do gas, whatever.
Right. Right.
Um,
I think they have a pellet version too.
they might, yeah. I mean, like whatever. There's always a way here.
Yeah.
But we looked up like like real pizza ovens, and they're like 2 to 6 grand, something like that. Like depending on
Yeah.
how big, how whatever. Um, but like I'm even thinking because and I said it too. I go, you know what though? It's like there's probably if there was like a fucking Mario somewhere, you just give him enough cheese and wine, and he would do it in like a fucking day,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be going anywhere.
Yeah.
Um,
What you need to do is ask, fuck, what's the account that I send you all the time now? The Nana, the crazy Nano, like the old
oh,
Italian guy that's like fixing shit with like string and bubble gum. He's like, it the works. I forget the account, but every time I see one, I send it to you because I think it's fucking hilarious.
and
I
masonry,
like that guy. That guy could build you a pizza oven in your
no problem,
garage. No problem.
no problem. So, but then even still, it's like it's a really stupid thing. So what? I'm gonna build a fire, 900 degrees, whatever. I'm gonna cook 2 pizzas in it. So that's the current conundrum. I don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
I think I know what the correct answer is, and it's probably the propane one. But even then, now I'm like, well, but I gotta get propane. I have to have it, and I need a place for it. I'm like, this is stupid. This is absolutely stupid.
Yeah, it turns into a lot. It becomes a lot really quickly.
Yeah,
The spicy Nana, that's what it's called. Yeah, the latest video I sent you, it was he broke the handle on a sauce pot.
yeah,
So he made a new one out of plaster and put it on.
yeah.
He goes, "I like this pot. I don't want a new one. I wanted this one." So I fix. The guy's fucking great. I love old Italian people.
Yeah, some of them are okay.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't.
It makes me kind of wonder if the new generation being massive vaginas is an American thing or if that's like a worldwide thing, right? Like we talk about how like, like our grandparents' generation versus our parents' generation versus us. Like my grandfather literally like built the fucking house that he lived in, and like my dad was a handyman and could do anything. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't fucking know how to do any of it, but like I'll watch a YouTube video and try it, right? Like, is that just an American thing? Because you think about like again, the spicy Nona, right? Like this guy that's making new pot handles out of plaster for shit. Like, are there 35-year-old Italian people doing that, or 35-year-old Italian people just as useless as we are?
Mm. It's very dependent on what setting we're talking about
Yeah.
because if it's just like regular, normal, call it middle to upper class people in like a city, I can't imagine it's very different. But you go to rural Wisconsin, someone our age can probably build a tractor from like
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Um, which is the same way. Like, so if you go to one of these countries and like in the villages, yeah, they're probably doing the same shit.
Yeah.
But just like the youth of like Rome, I'm sure they're just as useless as us.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So yeah, you got to get your pizza oven.
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do about it. That's just the latest conundrum. And I've just been making them in the oven every week. So that and that's the thing is like in the winter, that's what it's gonna have to be too.
Right, right. Yeah.
So what am I so worried about? I don't know. Stupid.
Yeah, because regardless, even if you do get like a propane one, I mean, you could use it in the garage, but
Well, I mean,
it's
a
probably
propane one I
not.
could use on the deck. So it's like that would
Yeah,
be
okay. Yeah, 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 that's true.
so I could use that on the deck, which covers the bundling up and clear whatever.
Right, right, right.
Since it's propane, it would cool down, which means that covers like the oh, I'm gonna build this fire for fucking 180 seconds of cooking, and then I gotta wait for it to fucking cool down.
Yeah,
So like that covers that. That's why it'll probably end up being that.
yeah,
But then yeah, even like a day like today, can't use it.
right. Yeah, in the freezing rain.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to fire up the uni. So yeah, but so my final thought will take us back to the Tom Segura show. Um, like I said, Tom absolutely fucking knocked it out of the park. I thought he was incredible. Also, I was actually super surprised at how well everyone followed the directions of don't use your phone. Because I've been to Joe Rogan shows before where he uses the Yonder bags. So when you go in, like like they hand you a bag, right? And you have to put your phone in the bag and they lock it, and you can only unlock it at like designated spots around the garden. Um, this they didn't do that. They just literally posted signs fucking everywhere that said don't use your phone or we're gonna kick you out. And then like right before Segura went on, he had like a promo video cut on the Jumbotron, and he was like, "Hey, just a reminder, keep your fucking phone away." He goes, "I will throw you out." He goes, "There's been so many times where you wouldn't believe we posted everywhere. I'm telling you right now, and someone takes their phone out and they get mad at me for when they get thrown out of the show. It's like we made it abundantly clear." Um, and no one, I didn't see anyone with their phone, like not trying to sneak anything. So I was pretty good there. Um, but his openers were not good. So he was great. His openers sucked. There was some woman who opened for him first. I don't know. Call me a fucking sexist if you want, but like I just don't think women comedians are that funny. Some of them are sometimes, right? Like I don't know. I think Christina Przinski is somewhat funny. Nikki Glazer has her moments, right? Like she got popular again now, but she was goofy for a while. She got really into politics. Like 6 or 7 years ago, I thought Nikki Glazer was great. But then she did like the whole stupid fucking like I'm a slut blowjob comedy and then went super left wing. And now she's like cool again because she killed it on the Tom Brady roast. So like whatever, she's fine, but still like I just don't think women comedians are that funny. Um Whatever, it's just my opinion. So she sucked. And then the second guy who went on was Sewage Joe from Parks and Rec.
So random.
Yeah, Kirk Fox. Um and he was not good. His whole thing was just like super over the top, like vulgar, like whatever. Like I did a corporate gig in Rome and it turned into an orgy, and he spent like time like getting into specifics of like what the orgy was going on, like what people were doing or whatever. So like he sucked. However, the highlight of Sewage Joe and his comedy was right in front of us. Must have been, or near us, there must have been someone that was deaf because right in front of us, there was an ASL person, American Sign Language, that was doing like whatever, like the sign, like, when you watch like the president talk and they have like the person doing all the things or whatever, they had that. So for the entirety of Sewage Joe's shtick, I was not watching him or really listening to him. I was watching the ASL person. And like everyone in our section was talking about it. And they were watching this one ASL person. Cause like he's talking about like blowjobs and like the ASL guy is like going like this, like doing like all kinds of like crazy shit. We're like, this is absolutely hilarious. So Sewage Joe, again, Kirk Fox, not good as a stand-up comic. But the ASL guy that had to translate for him was fucking hilarious. And made up for the fact that his 10 minutes or whatever was not that good. So yeah. Um, that is gonna do it for us. So thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe up above. Hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're an audio only guy as well. You can get us on Instagram at Sarcasm Speaks Pod. Twitter is Sarcasm underscore speaks. Facebook is Sarcasm Speaks. I almost said the website, but we don't have that anymore. Go to the merch store, I guess. Check out the show notes below. Support those guys, support us, get some cool shit along the way. And until next time, good night, everybody.